This is a news bite for ages 10 to 25, brought to you by KhannaForKids.com. That's Khanna. It's a good morning message just for today's youth. Dr. Khanna is an attorney, a child safety advocate, a servant of the underserved, and he is champion of the nonprofit Voice of the Kids. Dr. Khanna also recently launched his post-incarcerated Juvenile Justice Reformation Act initiative. This initiative provides post-incarcerated young adults with housing, training, along with the required medical and psychological assistance they need to secure a job, to build their careers, and to greatly improve their lives. Today, we're going to talk about hurricanes. Good morning and welcome, Dr. Khanna.
Good morning, Gary. Good morning, young children, young adults, and good morning, all the listeners. Well, we know that we are going through a tough time in United States right now. Everybody is confused about multiple things. One is the pandemic. The other one is the election results. So I thought it would be very nice to kind of divert everybody's mind and switch the topic to a fun, which is called hurricane. So, dear listeners, let's talk a little bit about the hurricane. Again, as this is a news bite, we are going to give you a little bit bite of that hurricane, and then rest. You all can research and find out how this hurricane works. How this hurricane is formed. Do you all know that? Well, we all know this is science, right? When we were young, we knew how the rain is created, right? How the cloud gets created. So similarly, the hurricane is formed from warm ocean water and the thunderstorms. They fuel these hurricanes, and hurricanes are very powerful. They are power hungry. Hurricanes form over the ocean, often beginning as a tropical wave, a low pressure area that moves through the moisture-rich tropics, possibly enhancing shower and thunderstorm activity. What is the purpose? And we all need to know also, everything happens for a reason, right? So, what is the purpose of the hurricane? Well, hurricane helps to move heat from the warm equatorial regions towards the cold polar regions. Hurricanes act as giant engines that convert the energy from warm air into powerful winds and waves. Hurricanes does not just transport heat to the poles, they also help radiate the heat out of the tropics into the space. You see how this ecological, natural balance happens? This is all created by the creator of this universe. And who is that? God is the creator, right? So hurricane, the purpose of hurricane is to keep an ecological balance from warm to cold. Now let's talk a little bit about the fun part. There's some interesting facts about this hurricane, and I call them as a fun facts. Let's see what are the fun facts are. Hurricane is an intense tropical storm with powerful winds and heavy rain. Other names of hurricane includes cyclone, typhoon, and tropical storms. While they're essentially same thing, the different names usually indicate where the storm took place. Tropical storms that form in the Atlantic and Northeast Pacific near United States are called hurricanes. And those that are formed near the Northwest Pacific, like near Japan, are called typhoons. And those forms in the South Pacific and Indian Oceans are called cyclones. So they're all same, right? But different names. So what did we learn? Hurricane, cyclone, and typhoon. The same thing of these powerful winds and heavy rains. This tropical storm, right? Hurricanes usually forms in the tropical areas of the world. Hurricanes develop over warm water and use it as energy source. That's why a lot of power comes from the dam. We all have the hydraulic power. That's why water, the warm water converts into the energy. It is a great energy source. Hurricanes lose strength as they move over the land because the heat is gone, the heat wave is gone, which is developed in the water. So when they move to the land, the power gets less and less strength. Coastal regions are most danger for hurricanes. Violent winds and heavy rains, hurricane can also create. Tornadoes, we heard of the tornadoes, right? High waves and widespread flooding. That's what happens with tornadoes. Hurricanes are regions of low atmospheric pressure, also known as depression. We all heard this, that human beings, we as a human being, we go for depression. Why? When you get too much pressure. Similarly, the nature also gets that. So hurricanes are the regions of low atmospheric pressure. The wind flow of hurricane in the southern hemisphere is clockwise, while the wind flow of hurricanes in the northern hemisphere is counterclockwise. You see the fun stuff? So it moves clockwise and then counterclockwise. Weather in the eye of a hurricane is usually calm. The eye of a hurricane can be anywhere from 2 miles in diameter over 200 miles, but they're usually around 30 miles. Wow. So if you've seen a picture of hurricane, I don't know if Gary can pull out a picture of hurricane. It has an eye in the middle. And normally the eye's diameter is 2 miles, which is 3.2 kilometer, to over 200 miles, that is 320 kilometers. But normally the diameter is 30 miles, that is 48 kilometers. The winds around the eye of a hurricane are usually the strongest. That's why it is powerful. The hurricanes can be tracked by weather. Here you go. So Gary points out, this is the eye. And then the surroundings are the most strongest. How can we track these hurricanes? Well, with today's technology, with the satellites and the radar closer to the land, hurricanes can be tracked. That's why we know what kind of hurricanes is coming from the Weather Channel. Well, last not by the list, the purpose of bringing you all this information about hurricanes is to give you a little bit idea about what hurricanes is, how dangerous it can be, but at the same token, it is very much needed to keep our weather or nation ecological balance. Because we do say about climate change. Well, this is where when warm ocean water shifts and creates the pressure, atmospheric pressure, then it becomes hurricane. Well, it is also very destructive because the death of around 2 million people over the last 200 years, hurricane did create a lot of damages. Some history In 1970, the cyclone, which is same as hurricane, but in the other hemisphere we call as cyclone, in Bangladesh, it killed 300,000 people in 1970. The biggest one we had in United States is 2005, Hurricane Katrina. Over 1,800 people in the United States, caused around $18 billion to bring all the damaged property back. And that's mainly on the Gulf Coast. Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, those are the areas which got affected. So we lost more than 1,800 people. And today, before I end this news bite, go and look what hurricane is going through right this minute, which came from the coastal area of United States from Florida onwards, called Hurricane ETA, ETA. You can Google and you can see how powerful that is, how many lives has taken so far. I heard so far only one life we lost in Florida, but definitely damaged a lot of properties because of the high wind. So that's been saying that this is what hurricane is. So let's understand and let's be peace. Today's Friday. Have a nice weekend. See you back again on Monday morning. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Dr. Khanna. That's a lot of information about hurricanes that I didn't know, but I really appreciate it. It's always interesting to take your mind off the day-to-day things and see something that's really actually still going on in the news bite. Please join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday on SunRISE with Dr. Khanna, and please join us on our website, Dr. Surajit Khanna.com, also KhannaForKids.com. And remember, his initiative for Juvenile Justice Reformation Act to help young people get a career after they get out of incarceration. Thank you, Dr. Khanna. Have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you very much. God bless.